Hi everybody, Claire with Clairvoyant Psychic Medium here today with
Alex and Ashley. Hello.
Hi.
All right, welcome to Witch's Tea. Last time, remember we were saying it was Witch's Brew. It's been Witch's Tea the whole time.
Has it really?
Yeah.
No, it's tea. All right, cool. Cool.
But yeah, what are we doing today?
So we're gonna start off per usual with our witchy biscuits, but our main brew, what we're bringing in today, our tea topic is going to be tarot cards. So if you guys don't know anything about tarot cards, this will be a fun listen. We're going to introduce it as if, you know, maybe you know something about it, but if, you know, you don't, it's fine because we're going to introduce it like you have it. So we're going to start though with our witchy biscuits. And I think it was nice. We were talking that everyone's biscuit for the week is sort of on topic with tarot anyways. So Claire, what was yours?
First, I think you need to introduce the cute little munchkin.
Oh, yes, the munchkin.
Yeah, I was gonna say the main attraction here.
So this is Hocus. We got her this week. She's a little, we think, Maine Coon kitten, but she's got approximately 27 toes.
Show her piggies.
Piggies.
Polydactyl.
Beans.
So
Look at all beans for days. So
She has so many toes.
that's awesome.
yes.
Okay, my witchy biscuit is, I was just going to talk about how I pull a card every week. And it kind of gives me like, so what I do is I light frankincense and myrrh. I like have a little charcoal thing and I put the little stuff in it and I light that so that cleanses my whole house. And then I pull one card every week and it just sets the tone for the whole week. So this week I picked the Nine of Cups, which is usually like the wish card. So
Yeah.
when I draw that, it's like, okay, your wishes aren't coming true today, but you need to get your mind straight and keep on track towards what you're wanting and just keep that like it's going to happen, you know, living in that energy versus like the 10 of Cups, you have it, it's coming, you know, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So,
That's a good way to put it.
yeah, so that's pretty much like how my whole week was just kind of patience.
I never know what to do in those weeks. Like, I know I'm supposed to be patient, but like, am I supposed to work on anything else in the meantime? Like, am I supposed to, well, how do I dilly-daddle around all of this while I'm being patient for the one big thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
I get lost when I need to be patient.
I had a pretty hard week, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard.
Feel that. It was funny. You just brought up the 10 of Cups, and actually, so my witchy biscuit for the week was I was pulling some cards for some people. And it was actually a pair of friends. They were doing they wanted sort of like a business reading to figure out how to, you know, they just felt a little stuck in their business currently. Things are going slower than what they wanted. So we did a spread. And they ended up first pulling the 7 of Pentacles, which to me basically said, you know, even though the work is hard, you keep sowing your seeds and eventually you're going to have a bountiful harvest. And so they pulled that in regards to a challenge or a conflict that they were facing. And then for their, the next card what I pulled was a card to represent an outcome or advice. And they ended up pulling this beautiful, beautiful 10 of Cups, which basically to me says, look at all the wonderful shit I have. So if they just keep working hard, sowing their seeds, they're going to get all the good things that they're working for. So that was a nice, fun spread. I love doing those.
Yeah, that's like a perfect tarot
Yeah.
card. Yeah. For them. Anyway.
What about yous?
I just pulled a card. I wanted to share it with you guys. I haven't pulled a card today. So can I see your line strider book, please?
Absolutely. You guys, I'm totally going to call out this artist. So our author, she does the Line Strider Tarot. Her name is Siolo Thompson. That is this deck. Honestly, out of all of the books I've read, the book that accompanies her deck is the best. My absolute favorite. Doesn't matter what deck I'm using, I will always 100% of the time pull open this book.
That's how I am with Patch Tarot.
Honestly, I love it too. Like I still haven't found, I've got decks that I like, but I don't have a book better than this one yet. So
read it. I'm
suggestions,
excited to
please,
hear.
or check this one out. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
okay, Two of Cups. I want to skip like the description of the card because that, I don't know if that's completely important.
No.
Two of Cups indicates relationships based on attraction and the supportive and heartfelt exchange of genuine emotion and respect. The Two of Cups can refer to marriage proposals and engagements, as well as business partners or deep friendships. It's a reflection of commitment between two individuals who has chosen to be allies in the world. In some cases, this card may even indicate a strong bond with an animal. The Two of Cups represents love that is nurturing, creative, clearly focused, inspirational, and equally fulfilling. In a reading, this is often a beautiful start to a new romance. Yeah, great things. Often this card speaks of reconciliations and new opportunities to bond, repair, and deepen existing relationships. So partnerships in business can be successful.
So what is going on in your life right now that this could, what is sticking out to you?
Well, I had a big relationship change, but I'm single. So, I mean, I guess the two things that I thought of were like bonds with people that I'm already close with, like bonding closer with like Alex and Dan. And then
The cat.
the cat, I thought of the cat and I was
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, I like her a lot. Yeah. So I was like, well, she's supposed to be all of our cats, but listen, if she could grow a connection with all of us, say hi, no mittens.
Yeah, I think that that's just what it means. It's the simpleness of, I mean, you're not getting so cute. Your relationship wise, everything is pretty good in your life, and this is the only new relationship. So
Yeah.
embrace it. Let her heal you.
Yeah. I was also going to note too, because I know you don't practice with the reverse, but I always like reading the reverse aspects of the cards just to kind of see like what they might have put in there. This one, this lady always puts in her interpretation of the reverse. And it does say in here that reversed, this card could indicate a potential breakup or a breakup if it hasn't already happened. So
I think I think it was reversed when I picked it up too. So that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And I would say I like reverse aspects. I know that there's some other witches who like practice like don't do reverses. Claire, I think you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's totally fine. I do like them though. So
I just like to know,
do what feels good.
Right, because every once in a while too, like I feel like if a card doesn't necessarily click or make sense in the forward aspect, if I check out the reverse, then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It just depends.
I know for myself, when it comes to the reverse, it's like, it's too much work. I like to keep it simple. So if I have my guide be like, okay, I just give me the gist of what is needed, and you're going to pick out whatever cards that I need to know, and to figure out the reversal. It's hard enough to memorize the cards just as they are. Like, God, I've been doing this for 11 years and they don't stick up here.
I've got some that are starting to stick, and that's but I love using the resources of the books anyways. Like I just feel like, and especially too, like I feel I've got a couple different books where every once in a while
have different perspectives, even though it's still the same. Like they mentioned something different. We're like, oh, the last one, like this going along.
In a different way.
Just didn't mention this. Yeah, it's just.
I have one specific book like to it. It's not even a deck, but it's just a book that describes in it each of the different cards and their meanings and potential interpretations. And that book is technically like a self-help book for people and like a creative, maybe career field. And so I always bring that out whenever I'm reading for somebody who is in any sort of like art form or something like that. It always seems to have good information for them. So yeah. Oh, The Creative Tarot, another great book. All about the recommendations today. This one's by Jessa Kristen. So highly recommend that one as well.
Is that the one that you stole from the library?
No, I returned all of my books from the library. Thank you.
This is the one that I use a lot. Modern Tarot by Michelle T.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's get into our main brew today. We're all going to be bringing the tea. So if you don't know anything about tarot, and this, maybe we have, now I'm curious, maybe we have different perspectives of it. I like to tell people, this is my interpretation, that it doesn't like tell the future, like, it's more of I think a reflection tool, as well as an illumination tool, where it sort of can show you different possible paths, and give you a different perspective to the obstacles maybe you're facing than what you were looking at before, perhaps. So I think that's, a lot of people, when they think of tarot, they think of that old janky, like, old timey cartoons where it's like a little old lady with a shawl in front of a crystal ball who can like predict the future. And we know that's not the case.
I like to think it's kind of on the same lines as you. I like to think of it as like the path that you're heading on, or at least like you perceive yourself kind of repeating what you said, but like the path that you're going on right now. Or sometimes you have karma coming at you, and I feel like those are like the wild cards where it's like, hey, like this is heading in your future, just like brace or avoid. So I like tarot for that. It's definitely not a crystal ball.
Right. I think of each of the cards, a way I've described them before is thinking of each card as a different like discussion prompt, basically.
Good
say
way to put it.
If you got a problem, any card is just a, different way to try to look, a different lens to try to look at that problem through.
I'm also,
get your brain running and stimulating.
Yes, I agree. I'm an interrupter. I apologize.
You're good.
I come from a good place with it. I just am so excited about our conversation. So, you were saying, repeat what you just said.
That it's like a discussion prompt, or you can like look at it through a different lens.
Yes. So I've also like to tell people like tarot is at least like a good thing to think about for the day, like a good thing to remind yourself. So some people have like these little calendars that they'll rip off like one sheet every day, and it's like, hey, like don't forget that you're beautiful, don't forget that you're worth it, like try smiling today, don't forget to take a bath or take a walk, like just like uplifting like things. That's basically like how you can view tarot, even if like you're not religious with it, like if you don't feel spiritual connection to it, like just use it as like
a mantra or an affirmation.
Yeah. Just like, hey, for today, just kind of focus on not being arrogant, or today, really go for it. You know what I mean? Like kind of switch up your days. You gotta be on your toes in life. We're running.
It's kind of like what you're saying, Ash, is that it's an outside perspective of yourself. So you're able to see what's going on in your life completely from a different perspective. So what's happening?
Sorry, we just got very distracted.
Here's
there
the
was
thing.
Cuteness in the background.
The cat literally was like on the ground, just jumped right up to the top of Soundman Dan's shoulder, and it was impressive. We haven't seen her do it yet, so it was just a cute moment. I'm sorry we didn't capture it on camera.
Our distraction, obvious.
Kitten, so cute.
Oh, but yeah, no, it's just a different perspective, and it gives you that way of just kind of like self-reflection to heal and change and whatever,
Yeah.
I think what's also interesting too is it always seems to me, at least, that a lot of the times when we pull cards that we're never ever getting information that we don't know. They always seem to tell us some things that we already know, just in a harsher way than we like to think about them.
I feel like every time I pull a little 3-card tarot spread, and I'm like, what do I just need to know? If I don't ask any specific question, they're always like, hey, so this is what's recently happened, this is what you're doing now, this is where you're going. And I'm like, I already knew that. Those ones make me frustrated. Honestly, I have to
Why does that make you frustrated? Because it's kind of like the universe's way of saying you're in the right place at the right time, you're doing really good, just keep doing what you're doing.
Stop it. Get down. So much kitten cuteness here, guys. I can't stop. Ugh.
But yeah.
So I guess I look at it in more of like an antagonist kind of way, where it's like, look at what you're doing. Like if you're not doing something right, like if anything's not going right, like it's because you need to fix something and you need to be doing something different. And I know that has a lot to do with like my childhood anxiety, so please excuse me. We're still working on it. So
All right, yes. So if you guys don't know anything about a standard deck comes with normally 78 cards, 22 major arcana cards, and we can do math here, 56 minor arcana cards that come into 4 different suits. The suits are typically pentacles or coins, cups, swords, and wands, each representing different things. For example, the cups, or water. If you go back, think of our zodiac signs that we were discussing the other weeks. Tarot cards in the cup suit are going to relate a lot to, you can get like your water signs, your Pisces, your Cancers, your Scorpios, a lot of that energy. Wands is the fire sign suit. Swords is air signs. And then our last one is earth, would be those pentacles or those coins.
Earth signs like to be really comfortable, and that includes financially. So that completely makes sense. If anyone's wondering where that last connection comes in, like why coins? Well, because it's from the earth and it's stability. Like,
I think one thing I wanted to say is there's this old I don't know if I want to call it like a myth or a wives' tale, whatever. That your first tarot deck has to be gifted to you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're talking about this. I was hoping that we were going to talk about that.
Yes, and I do not believe in that. I certainly did not have my first tarot gift, cards gifted to me. Especially, I think about in my case. I grew up in rural Kansas, where nobody in years would have gifted me a tarot card box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So booze, go out. Go to your local metaphysical shop, or even now Barnes and Noble actually has an amazing tarot card section.
I have a lot.
Go to Barnes and Noble, look at the decks, and just pick one that speaks to you, the one that your soul loves, the one you're like, I need this one. Take it home.
Here's the thing, guys. They're not too expensive. I will say that they can range anywhere from about 25 at the cheapest up to
50, 80.
I would say there are some when it's just cards, but if it's your first one, you might want a book too. So I would say range between 25 and about 50, but you can find some really, really good ones still less than 50. So don't fret about price, but get a good one that really speaks to you first. You feel it, and then start your collection. Get all the other good ones.
Can I tell a story?
What?
Can I tell a story?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so my first tarot deck was gifted to me. It was I have to tell the story. Long time ago, me and my cousin were just starting and getting into all of this stuff. We had went to the local metaphysical show, Mystic Fest, and got readings from people, and we're like, oh my God, we need our own tarot decks, whatever. So I'm a cheap ass, and I Craigslist, is there any tarot decks? And I found a witch in Iowa that was selling a lot of her stuff. Send her good juju, but alcohol kind of took over, and she used the money that I ended up giving her I had to drive her to the liquor store. It was awkward.
Yeah.
But this was the deck, and I know you know this one, I think, Alex. But it's my Goddess Oracle card.
Yes.
I use all the time with good old Sheila.
Oh, I'm glad you said it's an Oracle deck too, because I was going to say I made the mistake my first time going to get an Oracle or a tarot deck. I went in thinking I was buying a tarot deck, and I accidentally, which I'm glad I did in hindsight, but I bought an Oracle deck thinking I bought a tarot deck, and there are slight differences there. We'll go over those two.
There's a big difference between Oracle.
Well, yeah.
But my first tarot.
Sorry, bad word choice.
My first tarot deck was given to me by my great uncle. And it's a druid one. I think I might still have it, or I might have gave it to somebody. I don't know. I don't want to get up right now because I'm not
you're good.
Whatever.
Are you not wearing pants?
I'm wearing pants. They're just not
You're not wearing pants.
I am. I'm wearing biker shorts.
Liar. Yeah. Proof or no?
There it is.
All right.
She wears pants.
Picture, it didn't happen.
But okay, so anyways, what were we talking about? Where were we at?
You got your first deck.
Yeah, so yes, my first deck was given to me, but I now have, I remember counting one time, I've gave some decks away, but I had like 80 decks.
Wow. That's insane. I wish to be at that point
I
eventually.
don't know where I'd put them.
I would find space.
I think I would make shelving instead
Well,
of putting my flowers. I would put shelving all the way around the room.
That's my vision.
and
That's what I
become
want to do in my she shed.
Yes, do it. Please take pictures, post them, send them.
Yeah, when you guys come visit. Yes.
Yes, yes. So
I gotta make a trip out there.
really fast, we briefly went over what the tarot card deck looks like, but the oracle decks, those are different in that I like to describe oracle as nicer than the tarot decks. And where the standard tarot decks have, I mean, it's the same major arcana and minor arcana in the same suits. But the oracle deck is whatever cards the author feels like making. And so like this one is patience and emotions, and there's like kindness, things like that, gratitude. It's really the author's discretion what cards they want to make and put in there. And so it's less structured than the tarot. But it's also in that way, it's, you're not going to get as if you're looking for a really in-depth read, I would go tarot deck. I always actually in my sessions, I always like to end a read with pulling a simple oracle card, because I feel like the tarot cards can especially be so harsh sometimes that it's always good just to end on a little happy fuzzy.
Yeah. I know when I very first started doing readings, I would do that with the like Doreen Virtue decks, you know, like here's a unicorn card, you know, like like let's make it light and fluffy. But I haven't touched Doreen Virtue decks in forever, and I've tried to give them away. Nobody wants them. She's bad.
There are some decks too. You just sometimes buy a deck and you're like, this is going to be so cool. And then it feels like a dud. Does that ever happen to you, Claire?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Because you're like, I've got 80 decks. I'm like, they couldn't have all been stellar, Claire. Like, don't tell lies. But one was gifted to me and I was like, well, it's free. I hate it. I hate it so much. It feels so old and very.
Did I give you one?
I don't.
Is it the one from the person I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, never mind then. I thought I gave somebody this red one, but I don't remember. But can I say something about oracle cards real quick?
Absolutely.
I suppose if you want to.
Okay, so the thing that I love about oracle cards is that you can get like kind of what Alex was saying, like there's some that say like emotions and words, like stuff like that, but there's animal cards and there's goddess cards and there's moon cards.
One that's actually crystals.
Yes, I have a lot of crystal ones. Yeah, so like there's so many different things, and I find as like a practitioner that uses tarot cards like numerous times a day, that like if I have a client that's really into crystals, using the crystal deck is, oh my god,
she's back.
Using the crystal deck is awesome because it's like, okay, the problem that came up in your tarot cards, you can help with this crystal, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Done that for sure too.
And same with like the moon, like, okay, so wait for this moon, or like utilize this goddess card, or utilize this angel. Like I fucking love oracle cards.
She sees you moving.
Uh-oh, naughty kitty.
Can't do it anymore.
I would love to blame the kitty, but honestly, that was all Alex. So, yep. All right.
Oh my goodness. What a destruction.
All right. So let's see. We went over kind of how it's comprised. We talked about getting your first deck. As far as reading, if you want to do a read, I think it's always do it for yourself. I mean, get your deck and start practicing on yourself. Especially because if you do want to start pulling for people in the future, and this is one of the best pieces of advice we've been given. We went to a workshop a couple weeks ago.
Say what I think you're gonna say.
And it was, the lady said, or the best way to read is, a lot of people think they need to connect to other people's energy, you know, if they're reading somebody else. And really the best read's going to come connecting to your own energy, grounding yourself. And so work on grounding yourself first, getting in tune with your own energy. And that's going to, you know, you're going to start getting better at your own reads. And that's going to provide the best reads than if you're doing it for somebody else.
What I want to definitely emphasize past that, when you are reading the feeling of a room, your own emotion, like don't push it away. Like there was one time we were reading the energy of a girl in the room, and she was a willing participant, and I just kept feeling like my shoulders were really tense, and I was like, man, like did I like lift something heavy? And I was like, I can't focus because my shoulders like just hurt so bad. And I just ended up saying, and I was like, honestly, if that's all I felt or anything. And Alex had the same emotion. She was like, I felt like something was heavy on my chest. So don't deny a feeling. Like if you end up wanting to do tarot for other people, just be honest with what you're feeling. It might not make sense to you. It'll make sense to them though.
Yeah.
And have you guys heard, every time you give a reading or whatever, or just exchanging of energy of some sort with anyone, you are also getting a reading at the same time.
You're going to figure out things about yourself for
I
sure.
have not heard that one.
Yep.
I haven't heard it said that way at all, but I like that.
Interesting.
Because I know for Reiki, that's 100%. Like every time I'm giving a Reiki session, I am giving myself Reiki. But every time I'm giving tarot, it's always something I can relate to and be like, oh, this is exactly what I've been through, or that I'm going through, or I can help you with that, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So when I'm doing sessions, and I'm sure it's for you the same, like I always start by telling people that they can have a general question in mind if they want to ask, or I'm sorry, they can have a question in mind, or we can just do like a general reading, which is basically just pulling and, you know, pulling a number of cards that feels right and seeing what it says. But there are a few basic spreads off the top of my head, and I'm sure you'll know more, but one of my favorite, the 3-card spread. The first card represent the querent, or the person who's getting their cards read. And then the second card to be an obstacle they're facing or a challenge. And then the third one being an outcome or advice to that. So I like that 3-card spread. But then I really, honestly, most of the time, I really just do a general spread where I will shuffle up the cards. If I'm pulling for somebody else, I'll shuffle them up and then I'll have them cut the deck. But I know everyone does it differently. I always cleanse my cards too before I read for anybody else. And after I've cleansed them before I read for myself. But I'll shuffle them up and then I'll cut the deck, whether I'll cut the deck myself, if it's for me, or if they're with me, I'll have them cut the deck and then just pull between 1 and 3 cards. I did have one time where I pulled like 5 cards because it was just
sometimes I just pull like 3 to 4 cards. I mean, on busy mornings I just pull 1, but if I want like a reading, I'll do like 3 or 4. But I always like to think of mine as like, when I'm doing 3, is like past, present, future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. I like the past, present, future.
So I don't really follow any of that at all. I do
really?
my own thing. Yeah. So when I pull tarot, I look at the just tarot cards, not oracle, tarot. That those are the situations or problems or whatever. This is what we're going to be talking about. So like, let's say we draw the 2 of Cups. So that's that one. And then I draw 2 other oracle cards with that card. So it's like, this is the story. So the problem is the 2 of Cups. So it's like, okay, you have this, okay, so the relationship, I'm just going to pretend right now.
Okay.
And then we draw the crow with that. And then you have another oracle card and you pair it with that. So it's the silver lining. Okay, so it's looking at like putting all of that together. If it's like a problem, the crow is going to say like, Now I'm curious because maybe we just kind of did something.
I know.
I know.
I was like, don't really pull a card because then I'm gonna be like, what's it telling us?
Okay, so the crow, it's been a symbol of magic. This is supernatural, has a gift for the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their life with a healthy diet, joyful friends, regular self-study. Okay, so when you're out of balance, you're ungrounded and you're needing meditation. So this one is saying, like, in order to, this is how I would tie it together. In order to have the
She's so curious.
yes,
Oh my goodness.
but okay, so in order to get that Two of Cups, that love, we have to have that meditation, that balance within, and then we have the silver lining card. So let me see. It's 37. Let me see what that means.
I was going to say, I mean, I think that made sense based on what we were talking about before the show started.
Yeah, it says it as a silver lining. It only looks like disruption. In reality, everything is fine. Everything. In fact, it's beyond fine. Underneath the appearances is silver and gold and platinum lining. So enjoy. Oh. So that is just telling you to enjoy your damn life. Yeah, you went through something hard or you have something good like the cat and just fucking enjoy it, but take care of yourself. That's like the main message of that. So like that's how I read it, is like a story.
Yeah. I think I always like them as stories too. I like that. I think it's also important to note, and not to get into like a religious thing, but if you're listening to this podcast, we're going to assume we all believe in generally kind of the same things. But in general, if you're practicing like in this realm, you know, paganism, spiritual, you know, witchcraft or whatever, the thing I love most about this, and I think this is evident, is there's no wrong way to practice. Literally, it does not matter. It's whatever feels right to you, whatever works for you. There's no wrong way to do it, which I think is completely different than a lot of us grew up in very structured religions, which I think a lot of us took issue with, and is one of the great things that I found about this. One of my favorite authors, Scott Cunningham, I mean, he all the time says in his books, he's like, you know, this is an example. He's like, take what you want, leave what you want, mend it, alter it, whatever fits for you. And I think that's so true across all spectrums of this.
Yeah.
So
I've always said that we're all going towards the same goal. We're just taking different paths to get there. And I know that as humans, we just regionally fight. Like, we don't agree with other ways of living. Like, people just don't always adapt very well. But we're all making it to the same goal. We're just taking different routes, and that's fine. Do your thing. Don't hurt others. Karma is real. That's what I got.
yeah.
Check your ego, amigo.
Yeah.
So let's see. Do we have any little tarot fun facts or general information before? I figured maybe Ashton and I could do a little reading for Claire Bear.
Yeah.
We were just gonna maybe, I guess we don't have to do the like what we like or what we don't like, but I do want to talk about the Three of Swords because it's been like
Yeah, let's do like let's just each talk about just one card that we just like in general. I'll let you steal my Three of Swords. I'll think of it at the run.
Okay, so the Three of Swords and me have been like a huge it's just a huge bond, because to me the Three of Swords means grief. And that's what it normally like represents. I did do a reading this week that it didn't talk about grief. It talked about like shit, I'm not gonna be able to, it's in my podcast now, so whatever. But but it's not like just talking about like death, loss, grief. It's just talking about how, it was the harsh realities, the harsh truth. And so that's why it's so freaking cool, because I think that the Three of Swords, out of all of the cards, that is the most like blunt, real, just here it is, you know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love it.
That card come up honestly more than any other card come up. I mean, truly, and I think because a lot of times as humans we need that sort of blunt, blunt sometimes. Yeah, it's called the Heartbreak card for a reason. It is harsh. It's a harsh card, but it's effective. That's
Yep.
why I like it.
Yeah. It's cut me here and there a few times. Definitely. I've received that card. Like I remember one time I got it like 3 in a row and I was like, what in the HE double hockey sticks is this?
Yep.
Can we cut here?
Oh yeah.
Can?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so can it be my turn now?
Yeah, go for it.
Great. A card that I pull all the time is the Fool.
You stole my next one, but here, have it.
You know why? Because I'm the Fool. Just kidding.
Everybody is the fool.
Yeah, I'm saying that's not true. The Fool
Is
is
there a song? Hang on. Everybody. There's a song. It just like started happening in my head. Okay, talk about why you love the fool. Uh-oh.
so the Fool
Okay, we're
to
good.
me, I was very offended. I thought I was reading it. Well, for a while I was reading it as in I was naive to situations and I had some growing to do. Like I was still very much like intro, beginner, like things like that. But really how the Fool should be taken is more of a new beginnings kind of card. Like you are on a new adventure. Like, let's just take a look at this. This man is over here, like going for a walk on an adventure, hiking. He's got his bag. He is seeing the sights and he is going and doing new things. It is a brand new adventure. And you know, when you start something new and you have that childish joy inside, you're like, guys, I have an idea. And you run with it. That's the Fool. And you know what? Preserve that energy because sometimes the going's going to get rough and you got to be like, all right, we hit a wall. How do we get over it? And that's the Fool. Sometimes he's a big burst of energy and then he flames out quickly. But if you can keep that energy, it's going to push you through to the goal. So
Yeah, he's stumbling along, new adventures.
So I actually look at him as like a good token where it's like, hey, you're doing something. And I like that path. So keep on going. For me, he's the lucky card. And he's that first major arcana card. So I don't know what it is. People are always like, what's your favorite number? And I'm afraid to tell them the truth. Like I've said other numbers before that I kind of like, but my favorite number is 1. I think it's because my name starts with an A. It's always at the beginning of the alphabet. I just want to be number 1. What are you guys reading about? I feel left out.
I had to look up a card real fast.
I was looking up how long we've been on. I think that we need to. I think it's been almost an hour.
Oh, okay. So here, we'll end on my card real fast. It's so close. Here, well, it's the Nine of Pentacles. I think that's a fun card. The Nine of Pentacles, especially in my Lion Strider tarot card, Lion Strider book, says that the Nine of Pentacles, the one depicted in that card, rivals the energy of any queen. I just had some notes down. So let's see, I have written down here. Calm, happy, prosperity is available. The Nine of Pentacles has a power and presence that rivals any queen. Speaks of hard work and rewards of self-development. So I love that card. I think it's great. I really would love to find it so I can show you guys.
Is it in that smaller?
No, that's all of the major arcana there. Here's my pentacles though.
Well,
while I'm looking for that. Oh, here we go. Nine of Pentacles. Look at this bitch. She's a boss. I love her. All right. So that is what we've got for tarot. Highly recommend. Go get yourself a box, guys. It's great. Really good. Honestly, a really great self-reflection tool. Honestly, when you think about it, when you think about therapy, I mean, therapy is, talking with an individual and they're giving you different perspectives and you're talking through things and reflecting on things and, not, go get yourself a therapist. Therapy is great, but also so are tarot cards. So that's what I'm saying on that.
Use them together.
Yes. Karma Corner. Ashley, what's something good that happened to you this week?
A lot of good things. I was given really good compliment at work. My boss and like my just manager above me both told me, they're like, listen, you work really, really hard and we appreciate all the things that you do. And like, I'm just like a words of affirmation kind of person. All you need to do is give me a pat on the back, tell me good job, and I am boosted. Like, screw the physical touch. I don't want your gifts. Like, just tell me I did a good job and we're set.
Tell me I'm pretty.
You know what I mean? Just tell me I'm pretty and then leave me alone. I'm a cat. And that's yeah, that was me. Go on. What's your thing?
My thing this week, I had a lot of tarot sessions this week, actually. And they all went really well, especially, God, I loved the one that I did for the set of friends, their little business reading with that 10 of Cups there at the end. I'm really excited for them. And I love, I'm really new into reading for other people, especially. So I've felt confident in myself for a while reading my own cards, but I was really apprehensive at first. I'm like, oh no, what if I start playing cards and none of it makes sense? I can't make any connections. And every time it flows super easily and we're able to make the connections. And even I pulled for somebody at the bar the other day, and at first we pulled 3 cards and I was looking at them and I'm like, this makes no sense. She pulled the Sun was our first card. And then the next 2 cards I'm looking at, like, I can't understand where this connection is at. And so I broke out my book and was reading, and both of the subsequent cards, 2 and 3, had a line in there where it said, if paired with the Sun, you know, it means this. Where I'm like, okay, like it was very specific, called out the Sun card. I'm like, all right, got it. There it is. Like, it's just all wonderful. So that is my happy thing.
Cool. Mine is, I think I'm going to tell this one. So Amy, the one that we know.
Yes.
I finally got to contact her this week because she had to tell me her good news because she's engaged and let's set the date and all that. Yeah. But the cool thing that happens every single time I talk to her, even if it's like month we go or something, we don't talk, we are literally living the exact same life, but we're just like different tiny little things here and there, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's so therapeutic to just be like her telling me her story. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. Okay. You did that. Okay. And then like, I'm telling my side of the story and she's like, oh crap. Okay. Like we're just picking up little pieces. And it's like, we're not even really like talking to each other. We're just talking out loud to like heal. There's so much happening in conversations with her. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
But the reason why that is because like monumental, I don't know if that's even a word, but that bigness of a word.
Monumental
huge,
word.
okay. Huge change happened this week with her, when like with me and what's going on. And we had a lot come up about like guilt and shame, and we're doing a lot of shadow work, and holy crap, it's hard, but it's beautiful. And I'm glad I'm not alone. And I guess that's the coolest part, is that I have somebody to like really talk to with that.
Human connection is the reason
Oh
we're
my
on this
goodness.
giant floating space rock. So
If you don't have it, you gotta find it, guys.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, friends. I think that's it.
Yes. Thank you. And again, check out all the links in the description, bios, whatever. I have their Instagram and TikToks, and all of my stuff is listed. And then I think that if you like Alex, you want to book any sessions, they can contact you, whatever.
Let's do it.
But yeah, thank you all. Hope you all have an amazing week.
Bye. Love you.